Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, got a pretty crazy week. A lot of stress yesterday. That's for sure. If we look so tired right now, it's because we had a lot of stress yesterday. Sweetie had medical issues. Um, I don't know. You can explain it better than I can, but
Oh, so
she has vertigo. Go ahead, explain it.
she has vertigo, and so she kind of, I fed her, and she was fine. She went out, she was fine, and then I went to give her her remedy. I was getting ready to go grocery shopping, and I went to give her her remedy, which she loves, and I couldn't wake her up, and she wouldn't wake up, and she wouldn't, we couldn't like rouse her, so we figured out, oh, there's something wrong. So
Like,
basically, we sat there, stared at her the
like,
rest of the day.
like, like when it's like a coma.
Yeah, it was really strange.
Um,
So she's had that before, where she'll get up in the morning and she'll eat type thing, and then she starts being really wobbly and like kind of like she's her head spinning type thing. And then from there, she usually like lays down and goes to sleep and takes a good 3 hour nap or so, 3 to 4 or 5 hour nap, and then she wakes up. She's a little wobbly, and then she's off like nothing ever happened. But yesterday it lasted till 5 minutes to four, so she gets fed at 4 o'clock, and so I called my niece who's a vet, and she, helped me through it, saying, well, check her gums. Her gums are still pink. Well, she's doing good then. She's okay. We said, I think you should get her checked. And of course, our vet, we were going to take her to the vet, but we figured, okay, we'll wait till 12 o'clock and we'll decide at 12 o'clock. And at 12 o'clock, we found out the vet closes at 12. Normally, she closes at 2 or 3.
Normally,
So
we've been there on Saturday afternoon before, but
she closed at they closed at 12 this week. So we're like, uh-oh. So now at this point, my niece is like, you probably should get a check because, maybe she had a stroke since she has not moving, and her legs were just limp. There was like no life to her.
I mean, literally,
I
there's
picked her up
nothing.
to take her outside to see if she had to go to the bathroom, and there was like just no life, like there was just a dead dog in my arms. And so my niece was like, I think you really need to take her. She is now like she floats between different vets, so she couldn't help us. I have nothing at home to help you with. I don't have a clinic that I use, so I can't help you guys. So I really think you need to take her somewhere. So I started calling around to the emergency places, which we all know that they're
Super expensive.
outrageous. So the first one I called, which is closest to us, said, "Oh, well, you need to call Tufts of all places." Tufts was her first choice, which I mean we all know. I mean Tufts is a great, great place.
But
Where my niece went to
man,
school to become a
you're
veterinarian,
kidding
but
me.
it's like outrageously priced. So I said, so it's something you guys can't, because she said, well, it sounds like it's, vertigo was what she said to me. She was in what the vets will do, well, they'll give her uh,
Dramamine.
Dramamine. And that my little bell went off. And so she said, we're too busy to deal with it. So, okay. So we
Too
kind
busy
of,
to deal with it.
yeah, so I kind of waited, and I called around a couple more places, and then we decided, okay, if she's that sick and she's gonna pass away, we might as well just leave her alone. He's like, well,
She was definitely comatose, but she wasn't in pain. She was comfortable, and I figured if we pick her up now and take her in the car and try to get her somewhere or whatever, because all these places are far away, none of them are close, it would be more traumatizing for her than just letting it be. But at this point, we pretty much had we thought we would have to put her down because even our niece said it could be a stroke.
right.
Um, you know,
She was going by a video. I sent her a video,
yeah,
so it was, it's hard to. He had said, I can't diagnose a motor from a picture, so she really can't diagnose from a picture as well. But we figured I try. I was just getting her to kind of walk us through it. So, but anyways, 5 minutes to four, up pops Sweet Pea,
her head comes up. She's
wobbling,
all like wobbly,
but she
like
came up.
all like woozy. And earlier in the day, we took her out like because she hadn't peed or pooped all day. So we were worried about that. And we took her out. This dog couldn't even stand up. Like you had to hold her. If you took your hands away, she would just collapse. But anyways, 5 minutes before, up comes Sweepy's head, right? So we're like, okay. So Sue says, well, let's try feeding her. And at that point, I was thinking to myself, well, maybe we shouldn't. I'm sure you were thinking the same thing, but we figured we'd try and see what happened because she has to eat. Because if the animals don't eat, then they go down in a big hurry. So, you know, we were hoping she would eat, and so Susie made her supper, and Sweet Pea was very unstable. She was very like her legs was all spread out, her back legs were all spread out, her front legs were like spread out so that she could maintain her balance. She was all woozy, but she managed to eat her whole supper. And then we gave her her Kong meal, which consists of another piece of food, some applesauce, and some coconut milk. And um,
Ate all that.
and she ate all that. But you know, during this whole process, though, she was breathing weird, like struggling to breathe. It seemed.
Seemed like, yeah.
And every once in a while, she would let out this major like gasp, and then it was almost like she wouldn't breathe. So at that point, a couple times during the day, we just thought she had died, you know, and we watched her, and then she took another breath, and yeah. So last night, I finally told Sue. I said, "Look, because we were out in the yard with her, because some fresh air sometimes brings her around, makes her
After
feel
she was done eating, right?
yeah, makes her feel a little bit better." So we had her outside, and we had her in the fresh air. She was sitting up a little bit at that point, you know. Looked a little better than she did. She had eaten and stuff, but she just wasn't right. I mean, she couldn't really. She was sitting up, but she was like all wobbly, and I don't think she could have stood up herself. I tried to get her to pee and poo again. But finally, I told Sue, I said, "Go in and make my bed. You know, make her bed, and we'll just put her to bed." And so I took her and laid her in bed, and she went to sleep. Well, she sleeps with 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 me on the other side of the bed, and generally she'll move around a little bit at night, like two, three, four times or whatever. So I kept feeling for you know sweet pea because I'm like nervous. So probably I don't even know because I was sleeping, but probably every 45 minutes or something I'd be feeling for sweet pea, and she'd be changed. Her position would be changed and changed and changed. So she was very like antsy and like moving around, which is not like her. She might move two or three times a night, and that's pretty much it. She pretty much goes out. So sure enough, about 1:30, she had to pee and poop because she hadn't peed and pooped all day. She's been like totally like out of it, you know, in a comatose state. So she hadn't peed and pooped. We tried, like I said, but she kept falling over. And so at 1:30, she gets up. So I'm like real nervous, and she's like a little woozy and a little bit shaky. So I pick her up and I carry her to the kitchen door, and I take her outside and I set her down. She runs across the yard like nothing's wrong. Runs down around our RV. We have these motion lights around the RV to keep mice out. If mice will turn the lights on, and the mice supposedly flee. She turned on those, and she comes running. We have a big steep hill on our driveway. She comes running up the hill and pees and poos, comes running back in the house, and then stands there in the kitchen. And I'm like, okay. So I pick her up, and she literally fell asleep in my arms. And from there to my bed is probably 20 feet, maybe 25 feet. She was dead asleep in my arms. By the time I got back to bed, I laid her down, and that dog did not change positions for the rest of the night. So this morning she gets up, and she has this pile of blankets that she lays against. So she always wakes up in the morning. She'll jump over the pile of blankets, and when she's feeling good, she'll lay on her back and roll around to wake herself up, or stretch and whatever she does. Well, she jumped over it. She was a little bit woozy. I'm like, great. I mean, she's not better. So I picked her up and put her down on the bed because I didn't want her to go down the stairs and fall, and she was woozy. Susie got up and made her breakfast and fed her, and she was a little bit woozy. And then by the time, I would say, a half an hour after breakfast, this dog was fine. We were ready to put her down yesterday. That's how bad. That's Jan Travels. Hello, welcome.
And hello, Sue. Sue popped in. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
We thought we were going to be all by ourselves, so thanks for joining us, guys.
Lucky Dog Productions.
And the Sand Van.
and the
Hello,
Sand Van.
guys.
Yeah, so we're talking about Sweet Pea. She actually went into a coma yesterday. She
We thought she was in a coma, but she was having.
She totally passed out. She was laying around all day, wasn't moving, blah, 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 blah. And, so she did that all day till 5 minutes before supper, ate supper. So now comes bedtime. We took her to bed. So like I said, she was like tossing and turning all night, which is weird because she's usually just stays still. I picked her up. I took her outside. She ran. I brought her back. She fell asleep. And then this morning she got up. Like I said, she was a little bit woozy. Susie made her breakfast. She ate breakfast, but she was like, had her legs spread out again a little bit to try to keep her balanced. But Sweepy loves food, so she got down there and ate. And I would say about a half an hour after breakfast, the dog went on for the rest of the day like nothing was ever wrong with her. Even Karen said, who's our niece, who is a vet, said that she probably had a stroke. That's how bad she was. Seriously. And she's had these issues before, but they wouldn't last long.
Well, yeah, like I said, she'd be really shaky before she went to sleep, and then she'd go to sleep for 4 hours, 3 to 5 hours, and then she'd get up and just be perfectly normal again. So it's what do you call? I can't think of the name of it again. Oh, geez.
Vertigo. So then come to find out, the older dogs are who have vertigo, the longer it takes them to come out of it. Well, Sweepy's 12, okay? And she's been having this vertigo issue for what, 2 or 3 years or something,
Probably, yeah.
Probably a couple of years.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, she would, like Sue said, she would, come out of it quick. In fact, in the very beginning, if I remember right, she would sleep for a couple hours and be fine. Yeah. Then it was like 4 hours and be fine. Well, yesterday was bad.
It was like 6:30.
Yesterday, the dog was comatose.
Yeah, 6:30 a.m. to 5 minutes to 4.
To 5 minutes
to supper time.
Just before supper time. Up comes Sweepy's shaking a little head. I'm like, oh my God, she's up. You're kidding me. Oh my God. You know what I mean? So I started this by saying, if we look tired today, it's because we are. We were
stressed out.
We were actually crying a couple of times at one point because we really thought we were going to have to put her down and tell them about the vet.
Yeah, so I called started calling the emergency vets because my niece is like, well, you should get her checked out. And
first of all,
she couldn't do it because she's a visiting vet now, so she works for several different places. She doesn't have her own practice, and she doesn't have a regular place that she works. So she's like, I really can't help you because I have no medicine at home and I don't have keys to get into any of these clinics I work for because I'm a visiting vet. So she said, I really think you should get her checked. So I started calling around, and I called the closest one to us, and they were like, oh, it sounds like she has vertigo. The doctors will probably give her Dramamine, and but we can't deal with it. I'm like, that's too much for you to deal with. Oh no, we just don't have time right now. We're busy.
They're too busy.
So
hello,
I'm like,
Carol.
okay.
How are you, Carol Walter? She's been watching a lot of our videos. Thank you very much for watching, Carol.
And hello, Peter. Peter came in too.
Hello, Peter.
I know we're busy talking about Sweet Pea. So yesterday was a rather worrisome day.
The whole thing is we when we've always been panic parents with our dogs.
We are.
I mean, if something, the littlest thing happens, we rush it to the vet. Well, yesterday we actually backpedaled a little bit because we know she's had vertigo before. So we backpedaled from 6:30. In my view, I never said it to Sue, and Sue never said it to me, but we were thinking the same. We were going to do this till around 12 because our vet has always been open till 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Saturdays. Well, 12 o'clock came. I was down working on the rig. 12 o'clock came, and I came up. I said, is she any better? And Sue said, no. I said, well, let's call the vets then because, if she hasn't gotten any better from 6:30 to now, she's not going to get better. Sue calls the vet.
They're closed. They closed early for some reason. So we couldn't even get to the vet.
So that's why she ended up to all these
specialty vets.
Specialty vets, which is probably $1,000 just to walk in the door. It's like nuts. It's crazy. But so at that point, like, go ahead, tell them like you.
So yeah, at that point we just decided, okay, if she's gonna pass, we might as well leave her home because he's like, well, you pick her up now and try to travel her with, when she's got vertigo already. We put her in the back of the car. It's not gonna make her any better, and we bring her to a vet and. They're going to want to do every test in the world to find out. They're not just
going to want to put her down, right?
Right. They're going to, do every test in the world to figure out what's wrong with her. And, she didn't look good at that point. So we decided, well, let's just leave her. And then, I'm sitting beside her, petting her, and all of a sudden, up comes Sweet Pea's head. And,
crazy stuff.
Yeah. So.
So, anyways, today she's been like almost like, well, because she slept all day yesterday and then rested and slept most of the night, the dog's been like a puppy. she's been following me around.
She's so full of
She's
energy
been running
today.
around the yard.
Yeah.
I was down looking at the rig, doing this and that to our RV and I looked down. She was there. She was running around. She was sniffing. She's been sniffing the floor. She's been running up and down the cellar stairs. So it was actually vertigo. Which tell them why we think she's got vertigo now. So this is crazy.
So all right, guys,
This is crazy.
so we think we kind of figured this out before. Why she was getting vertigo, because we were putting too much ear medicine, because she has like yeasty ears. So we think we were putting too much ear medicine in her ears. The vet said no, but we think that was what did it. So we stopped doing that, and she has not had one since May. And then she went to the vet 2 weeks ago, and the vet checked her ears and cleaned them for me and put a bunch of medicine in. And then she was itching her ear, so he put it in 2 different times. So we think that we're putting too much medicine. The medicine is giving her vertigo.
It gives her like
too much fluid in her ears,
like a swimmer's ear or something, and it gives her these super duper vertigo / dizzy spells, you know.
Yeah. And then she just sleeps because she's so dizzy, she doesn't want to move.
And she wasn't really comatose. She was just feeling so horrible that she just kind of knocked herself out, just passed out. Honest to God, I'm telling you.
He was lifting her leg, and it was like
we were literally crying 2 or 3 times yesterday, knowing full well we were going to have to put this dog down. That's how bad it was. And I'm not kidding. And even my niece, who's a vet, said she must have had a stroke. I mean, that's how bad it was, you know. So, anyways, yeah.
So hello, Sandy. Sandy came in, and so did Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
Heidi
here and there.
Sandy from Nature's Essence Photography, who also happens to be my sister. And if you ever want to get a special, awesome greeting card with a beautiful picture on it, check out her website, Nature's Essence Photography, greetingcards.com. And check it out. If there's somebody special in your life, you want to get a special card, you're not going to get nothing like this off of a Hallmark shelf. That's for sure. But yeah, so
it was a crazy day yesterday.
So yesterday, okay. I think I told you all last Sunday that I planned to work on some of the rust on the rig. Well, yesterday was the day. I had the kid coming over in the morning to help me, but I called him off because I thought we were going to have to deal with Sweepy, which we did. So I'm glad. But then after a while, I finally realized all I'm going to do is sit here and stare at Sweepy. Sue's sitting here staring at Sweepy. I'm going to go down and try to work on the rig. So I did. I went down there with wire brushes and scrapers, paint brushes, and a can of chassis saver, and I put on, and it was 87. What?
Sandy, it looks like you have more than one spot on your head.
Thank you, Sandy. I'm just getting to that now. And so, anyways, I knew that this stuff was bad. People, even the people who sold it to me, I call them my parts professionals as a joke, but my friends at the pot store said this is the stuff that all of the chassis guys use. It stops rust in its tracks. So okay. The only bad thing about it is it stains skin like a tattoo. So, okay. So I go out there. It's 87 degrees out now with the humidity of about 90. I go out there with a wintertime stocking hat down here over my eyebrows, back down around my hair. I had on a COVID mask, right? I had on reading glasses. I had on long sleeve shirts, rubber gloves. Okay, so I start on this thing, and I'm the kind of guy when I start getting into something, I'm really into something. I'm not paying attention to what's going on other than what I'm doing. So underneath this rig, there's all kinds of nooks and crannies, and nothing's rotted, but everything's starting to rust. So I want to make sure I get everything. This stuff says all you do is you take off the light stuff, the flakes of paint and the flakes of rust. So I get in there and I'm concentrating totally because I want to do from the back bumper almost to the back tires in this one day. So I have quite a bit to do. So I get in there. I had my headlamp, and so I could see because it's dark under the rig, obviously. And I start at it, and I'm working, and I'm scraping, and I scrape everything off. And then I had to get these little wire brushes and start wire brushing it all because all the dirt has to be off of it. And then I had to wash it all down with soap and water and all that so that the paint would stick and blah, 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 blah. So I'm really into this. So now I'm super into painting because I want to make sure I get every square inch. Sue and I want to use this rig for quite a few years down the road. And if I don't get every square inch of this and stop the rot in its tracks, we're not going to have a rig in 3 years, 4 years. Because we plan to use it in the winter when there's salt on the road. So I got to undercoat this thing. I got to take caravan. So, okay, I want to make sure. So I'm concentrating on that. I'm not paying attention. In the meantime, as I'm painting, my rubber gloves ended here, and my shirt ended up here. So I had this space that was open here, and I had this space that was open here, and I didn't notice it. And I'm painting away and painting away, and I got like 3/4 of it done. And I looked down, and I'm like, oh my god, right? Okay, I look like a junkyard dog, and that's this stuff is like a tattoo. It's going to be there for weeks, perhaps months. Look at my elbow. From where I leaned, I guess I spilled some and I leaned. My Adam's apple. I have some on my chest.
Through his
I have one
shorts.
right there on my forehead. I have a black dot on my forehead that's going to be there like forever. I have a black dot on my cheek that's going to be there forever. I had a little bit of stuff. I had long hair yesterday, down to here. I had a little bit in my hair here, right, which I didn't show Sue, but I had a little, and I knew she was going to give me a haircut today, and so this is what I ended up with right here.
So it went right through his shirt and everything. He's got it
I
on
have
his
it in my
chest.
hair.
He's got several spots on his chest. He's
I have
got
it on my chest.
spots on his back.
I have
It went through 2 shirts.
I have a spot on my chest. I have a big spot on my chest, a big spot on my belly, and 2 big spots on the back of my legs.
And on your back.
And on my back.
But how did it go through 2 shirts?
I don't know. This stuff is brutal. I'm telling you.
But I want to say, so we started out by saying, hey, why don't you get a couple hazmat suits from work? Because they spray chemicals on the golf course, obviously, and his buddy wears a hazmat suit to go out. It's got hoods and the whole bit. And I don't need a hazmat suit. It'll be fine. I don't need that. And so the first time he came in, he did a little bit on Friday. He did a little bit. And he came in, oh my God, I got it on my face. So he went in the shower and he scrubbed his face, which he heals so quickly you can barely see it.
Well, I have a
He gave
boomer
himself
right
a second
there.
eyebrow.
I don't know if you all remember the show Monk. Well, I pulled a monk. I started like panicking. I'm like, oh my God. And I scraped and scraped and scraped and scraped and scraped. The next thing you know, I got a little blood spot here. I
Took the skin away.
I got it off, but I took my skin away.
So he had a second eyebrow.
I can't do that to that or that or that or that or that or that. So for the next several months on my lives, you'll all see this dot and you'll know why. And you'll know that Merton and Sue have a rig that's probably not going to rot out, right? So,
but he's now tattooed in crazy places. People go, oh, that's a nice tattoo on your elbow.
But it will go away. That's that.
But first he comes in the house.
It will.
So that was Friday he came in and he scrubbed himself. And I'm like, oh my God, you took the skin off. He's like, well, I had to get that spot. I didn't want to have a spot on my face forever. Okay. So Saturday, I'm like, all right, well, you got to do something about it. I said, you really, and the kid was supposed to come from work. And I'm like, well, tell him to bring hazmat suits. We don't need hazmat suits. Okay. So he went out with this, I'm going to put a stocking hat on my head and I'm going to put my safety glasses on and I'll be fine. Okay. So he came in at one point and he's like, oh my God, look at my wrist. So he starts getting everything in the garage, all this, I think it was carburetor cleaner or something crap like that. He's washing himself with it. I mean, his whole palm at one point was all black. So he's washing himself with this stuff. Then it's like, give me some soft scrub with bleach. And now he's scrubbing himself with soft scrub with bleach. I'm like, so he does all this and he's got to go back out to do another batch. I'm like, all right, why don't we put elastics on your shirt at least to hold your shirt down? So we did. We found elastics and we elasticed up his shirt. Well, not thinking we should have put the gloves over the shirt and then elastic it all, but we didn't. We elastic the shirt, thinking we'd hold it down. And he comes in looking like this. I'm like, I give up.
So the next time I do it, I'm going to wear a hazmat suit. Because it's hot. So I'm going to have to go and just a t-shirt and a pair of underwear and put on the hazmat suit because it's wicked hot in there. And it's got a hood. And I'll wear the mask. And I'll do this. But Susie's going to give me these gloves where it comes up to here.
One of my customers
so
gave
no
me
matter
gloves
what,
for.
I can't keep doing this, man. I got I only did a quarter of the rig. My God. Can you imagine what I'll look like? You're going to be kidding me.
I told him when he goes to work, the boy's not going to want to help him. he sees him looking like that. He's going to be like, nope, I don't want to help.
John and Nancy from J&N Travels said that they love animals, but they hate dealing with injuries and illness. I get it. I do.
So
it's
true.
Horrible. It's just, I mean, I think God played kind of a trick on us when he gave us dogs, but then made them only live 9 to 12 years. You fall in love with them and it just breaks your heart. Like I say, we were bawling yesterday, at least two or three times. hovered over a comatose dog who's now back to being a pain in the neck, and a lovely pain in the neck by all means.
Yes, we're very happy about
Oh my
her.
God,
Carol Walters, yes, we are. We live in Massachusetts, so we are from up north. So yeah, we do have that northern accent. And yes, we did get the wallpaper border up around like the living area. But I want him to do another one in the bedroom and another one in the bathroom. So we didn't get to those this week because he's busy making a mess of himself. Didn't have time to do the wallpaper because he's busy tattooing himself everywhere.
Sandy said she wants Sue to take a video
hazmat,
of
yeah.
me in the hazmat.
So I have to tell you guys a story about hazmat suits. We've used this hazmat suit once
Here we
before.
go. This is a good one.
So
hang on for this one. Don't leave.
So when we bought this house 22 plus years ago, 23 maybe it is now. I don't know. I lose track of time. But anyways, when we bought the house, it needed to have more insulation. It had to have 8 inches of insulation in it. So at the time, in the attic, we didn't have the extra money to have a company come in and do it.
Hell
so
no.
of course we got to do it ourselves. So we talked with the real estate owner, the real estate agent for the house, and she said, yeah, you can do that. So okay, so we had it delivered, and we got here, and it was October. It was early October, but it was really warm. And so he brought the hazmat suits. You got to get hazmat suits. He said, you can't have that. You can't be touching that insulation. It's not good for you. Okay. So it was really, really hot. So we had started out with the hazmat suits and finally decided, okay, I'm taking my clothes off. So I'm like, all right, I'll just leave my underwear on and put the hazmat suit on. So he's like, I'm taking all my clothes off. I'm just wearing the hazmat suit. I'm like, okay, whatever. Now, mind you, we only have a little hole to go in the attic.
It was 90 up there, seriously.
Yeah, so there's no stairs at this point. There's literally an access hole. So he's up there.
In a closet.
In the little closet, right? So you got to climb up the ladder to get up the access hole to get into the attic, right? And we're both up there trying to put
access hole.
Right, trying to get this insulation up. So the phone rings and it's the real estate agent saying, you guys have to leave. I'm like, what do you mean leave? She said, the owner doesn't want you to be doing this. She thinks it's going to be like a lawsuit. You could sue her. And I'm like, we're not going to sue her. We're putting up the Dawn stuff so we can buy the house.
Crazy stuff.
We're not going to sue her. She's like, well, she wants you to stop right now. I'm like, well, we're not stopping right now. We got it like 3/4 done. We'll be done in no time. We're not stopping now. She was all right. Well, I'm coming over. And I'm like, why? She goes, well, at least if I'm there, I can watch what's going on. I'm like, okay. So she comes over. Well, in the meantime, Ron bends over and his hazmat suit cracks. So, and of course, once I mentioned he did not have underwear on. So now the lady wants to come and she wants to hold the fan on the she wants to stand there and hold the fan. She wants to stand on the ladder and hold the fan up the hole, just to try to help. And so he's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to tell her. So I went and I told her, I'm like, okay, it's really embarrassing, but I gotta tell you, So I explained it to her, and I'm like, he's got a bit of a hole, and he doesn't really want you having your head hanging up there while he's got the hole. And she laughed and said, okay, I'll stay downstairs. And I mean, so Ron doesn't have very good luck with these hazmat suits. And you were heavier back then, so I have to say.
I was way
heavier then. So I think the hazmat suit will be good.
To split a pair of pants,
But we'll make sure he wears his underwear this time, so at least the neighbors don't have to get a view of the crack if you manage to crack it.
But those
they're just paper.
No, they're not paper. They're actually Tyvek. It's the same material that they put on the side of a house, right? It's the same stuff, literally. It's Tyvek, and you can't breathe. You can't, nothing breathes. It's so hot. Even if it's 40 out and the person's out in the golf course spraying, he's still sweating. Try it in an attic when it's 90 with no breeze.
It was hot.
It's terrible. It's just,
Read that one.
What?
Jane Ann Travels.
Yeah, she liked the view.
She wanted the view.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sue said last week it was holes in Merton's pants. Now it's no underwear.
All this stuff happens to me. I swear.
You never know.
I'm ready to go. I get embarrassed easy, and I'm a prude. So I mean,
It was too funny that day though, and I had to come down. And I'm like, how am I going to explain to this lady that she can't come up there? I'm like, all right, I just got to explain it to you. Like this is, and she just kind of laughed, and she thought it was funny, and she was sweet. She just, she kind of hung around and. Literally, it took us like an extra hour or two,
hour and a half or something.
And we had it done, and we got to buy the house in the end. So, but it was just crazy.
We've been here for 23 years. So. You know,
Carol says it's getting X-rated.
it is.
Hang around with us
It
long
is.
enough,
This is
guys. You
supposed to be
never know.
It's supposed to be a general audience show, right? It's crazy.
Jan had said you might be a secret exhibitionist.
I might be. Oh man, it's terrible.
Oh my God.
It's just the stuff I get myself into. I swear.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, you never know what's gonna. So we went from Sweepy dying yesterday to talking about hazmat suits and tattoos. So now imagine it was way less painful than a tattoo, right? Tattoo. I don't know. I've never got a tattoo,
a tattoo,
but I hear that they're painful.
people.
So yours, too bad we couldn't draw. Maybe we should put a what do I want to call it? An outline thing. What am I trying to say? A mold or a stencil. That's the word. Maybe we should put a stencil next
A
time.
stencil, so
And that way it
falls in the
lands and it
stencil,
looks
makes a
like you
picture
got
or something,
exactly. It looks like you got something.
I don't know. Yeah, so it's been a hectic day yesterday for sure. Today's been cool though, but we're just so tired right now from all of the crazy stress.
Carol says, "Don't look, Ethel." Oh my gosh. So you never know. We're just crazy stuff happens.
The stuff we get ourselves into, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I went down and this is another thing that happened to me yesterday. Well, about I want to say Tuesday, I went down and I finally found the drain on the tank on my rig. I finally found the drain to drain it. I couldn't find it at first. I was looking.
Hang on 1 second. Hello, Roy and Becky. Howdy, you guys. And Di. Hi, Diane. How are you? So nice that you came to meet us. And yeah, turpentine. I don't know if turpentine would work. Diane said, would turpentine work?
I don't know. I tried.
That's one thing we don't have in the house.
I don't really
That's why you use carburetor cleaner.
I tried WD-40. I tried gas preservative. I tried bleach. And it was way worse, like way worse. But no, I don't think much is going to move it. It literally stains your skin. You're just going to wait for your molecules to go back. They say you change molecules every
7 years.
Hopefully it doesn't take 7 years because I feel like a junkyard dog. It's terrible. It's just
his hands look so bad. He looks like a Dalmatian. He kind of got his hands a little bit cleaner, but he looked like a Dalmatian yesterday. He had spots everywhere. So I'm like, okay, now
I'm not gonna be able to go anywhere fancy. I'm gonna.
We don't go fancy places anyway. It's a good thing. But
we haven't been to a restaurant in years that doesn't have a ketchup bottle and a napkin dispenser on it, right? Yeah. Anyways, so yesterday I go down there and I'm painting when I first started, and I hear this faint noise, just brrrr, and I'm saying, to me at first I'm thinking, geez, that guy's lawnmower's not running good. It must be on the other street. And I'm listening. That's not, and I'm saying, because between Led Zeppelin, race car motors, and I was in a country band that was loud, and just general abuse. I got really bad hearing, so I'm not really hearing this correct, I guess. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not a lawnmower engine. And I'm thinking, the hell can it be? So I stick my head out from under the rig. The noise is gone. I go, what? I say, well, maybe the guy shut off the motor. I stick my head back on under the rig and brrr. Like, what? Stick my head back out. No noise. Stick my head back in. Noise. It's got to be coming from the rig. What the hell can it be? So I said, it sounds like the water pump to myself, but faintly. I'm thinking, what the hell? So I go in the rig and I get the key to the cabinet, opens up where the water pump is, and sure enough, the water pump's going. I mean, I just have done such rookie, stupid things since I've had this rig. I can't believe it. So
when did you enter the water?
So Tuesday. So what I did was, the water pump switch was on in the rig and forgot it. And when I emptied the tank, the water pump went on because it's supposed to go on and ask for water. It ran Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. I noticed it. That pump ran for 5.5 days. When I put my hand on it, it was red hot. So I assume I probably pretty much cooked it. It was on its last.
So we have one.
It-
We were trying to order one before this happened, just because it sounds really loud. So
It does,
we were
so-
trying to order one, and I called on Thursday, and he said, "Well, it's supposed to be I'm supposed to be getting 10 in next Wednesday. So call me back on Thursday. We'll see if we got him in." So hopefully you got it in, because now we're finding out that he might have killed it.
Well, I don't
So-
know. It's still
It's
running.
running, so
it's still
maybe-
running. And the good news is my batteries in the rig must be a hell of a good batteries, because it ran that pump for 5.5 days, and it still showed 12 volts in both the rig and the house batteries. So I guess I got really good batteries. Unless, what, did I burn those out too? You know,
Hopefully not.
hopefully not. My God.
But yeah, so rookie mistakes. For a mechanic, he's making rookie mistakes.
Wicked rookie
just-
mistakes. Like you can't
And that's an
believe-
old age one too, that forgetting to shut it off. So that's good. We'll count that one up
Who are
to
you
old
calling
age.
old?
We'll count that one up to old age.
No. Yeah, I guess.
We'll count that to old age, forgetting to shut that off.
Yeah. But anyways, after running that pump all that time, the batteries are still full, basically full. They still had 12.1 volts in them. So it's, and I didn't have the house plugged in or nothing. It was running directly off. Yeah. So maybe when I empty the tank, I ought to shut the pump off. Or how about just shutting the pump off when we're done with it? This is all stuff that we'll learn along the
Get
way,
used to it.
and it's not like super expensive like the generator that I fried.
Hello, James Cantonese. It's so
Hey,
nice for you
James,
to
nice
join
to have
us.
you along.
Join our crazy little space.
Crazy space.
And Sandy says that we can take a shower at her house. Well, we'll have water, Sandy, so we won't have. We only need the pump when we're boondocking.
Yeah.
So we'll have water this weekend, because we're headed to Vermont to visit Sandy this weekend.
Yeah, we're taking.
So
a trip.
we'll have but we'll have a hookup.
So far, I've taken Finicky Franny, who's a Ford. On the first trip was 20 miles from home. The second trip was about 60 miles from home, up to Wampatuck, and the third trip's going to be, I don't know, it's a pretty good run.
How far is that, Sandy?
Probably
I'm sure you know.
Probably a couple hundred miles. So I'm getting a little further out. But I'll tell you what, the truck runs fantastic. I'm just kidding about Fords, really. I've just always busted people about Fords, because when we raced, we raced Chevys, and so you always had this thing about Fords, and you'd make fun of people who raced Fords or whatever. That's where it comes from. I got nothing really against Fords.
Hello.
But it was
I'm
good.
probably going to say your name wrong. Wayne Preacher? Hello. Thanks so much for joining us. She's an aspiring paranormal investigator.
Wow.
Can you see some crazy ghosts hanging around us? Because there may be some. You never know. But thanks so much for joining us. It's really cool. We'll check out your channel when we're done. Thanks so much. And Di, thank you so much for saying we don't look old. That's really sweet of you. You might need your glasses on, but that's okay.
So then we're going to do like 3-4 more camping trips, and then we're going to shut it down. Then I'm going to pull the bed out of the rig. I'm going to take the plywood off the top of the rig, and I'm going to get access to the onboard water. I'm going to wrap it in insulation. We're going to insulate the pipes coming into the rig and run some heat tape on them, because Sue and I are heading to Quartzsite in January, and so we want to make sure that we don't freeze up the rig on the way. We're leaving we're leaving on Christmas Day, right?
Christmas Day, we'll leave.
Yeah,
Christmas
we're looking
night
forward to
sometime.
it. So we got a lot of YouTube friends that we want to meet down there.
Quartzsite sounds fun.
Yeah. I got to get to the dentist first, because we're going. I have a dentist in Mexico that I go to, because it's 25 cents on the dollar, and you get the same care that you get here in America. You just have to have cash. You can't use credit cards or nothing. But I got to have some dental work done. So we're going to head for Yuma, Arizona, right out of the chute, and stay there for about a week, 4 or 5 days, while I get my dental work done. Hopefully that's healed by the time Quartzsite comes, and I'll be able to talk to everybody. We'll see, and eat at some of these fantastic get-togethers that I've heard that you all have there.
Sue, have you guys ever gone down to Quartzsite? Is that something you guys did when you had your camper? That's something that you do? Just wondering if that was something you guys did back in the. I know you used to have a camper, so.
Yeah.
There's so many meetups. There's one, I guess this last weekend, there was one in Kentucky. So
we're looking for a New England meetup, but we can't seem to find one. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like everybody in the country seems they meet in our Oregon and Wisconsin and
Michigan.
the Midwest and down south, and but there's just something, I don't know what's going on, but we can't seem to find one here in.
They talked about the M22, and I'm like, it's Massachusetts, yay, we can go meet people, but
yeah, but
it was Michigan.
Yeah. But anyways, we've made a lot of friends on YouTube. We've had not only had fun, but we've made a lot of nice friends. Oh, and by the way, and it may not mean much to some folks, but to us it means a heck of a lot. We hit 200 subscribers this afternoon at 4:00. So to us that's just amazing to think that. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed.
Yeah, 200.
From
Yeah.
the bottom of our heart. I mean,
thank you guys.
I can't even believe that we're up to 200. We were stuck at 61 for a long time, and then it started to grow, slow but sure.
So yeah, we get to have a clam boil. So
yeah,
clam boil in our, we might make it on, might bring it to Sandy. I'm not sure.
We're not sure if we're going to bring it to Sandy or we're going to have my dad over or whatever.
We invited his dad, but we don't know if his dad's going to go this weekend or not because he said he's just.
So we might just have the clam boil here and just have it with Dad because we had our last clam boil with Sandy.
So we're not sure. But we are excited about a clam boil.
But it was supposed to be a surprise for Sandy if we brought it up, but it's not going to be a surprise anymore, right?
Nope. We hit, yay. And hi, Jesse and Lisa. Thanks so much for joining us. You guys you just pulled off the road to get a bite to eat.
Oh my God, you guys have been busy.
Jesse and Lisa have been at the Kentucky. They're just on their way home from the Kentucky one, going back to Texas. So they just pulled off and they're actually stopped to say hello.
And
thank you so much.
They've been live a lot today.
Yeah, they've been on the road. I watched them
really early this morning and
I was watching a little while ago.
In the afternoon.
Until they went off. You guys broke up and went off for a little while, but I kind of went back to it. And Carol, my knees are doing awesome. I have to say that vitamin concoction, I'll call it, cocktail, whatever you want to call it, is doing wonderful. I am not in pain whatsoever. My knees are a little stiff here or there, but I think that's going to be a normal age thing. But other than that, there's no pain. I'm not in pain at all. So I have to say that vitamin concoction is the best. Definitely, what a difference. So.
It's great to have you all. We were sitting here alone for a little while. We were like, oh, nobody's going to come. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I think that the camera looks a little better this week. I found the settings. I think I cleared it up a little bit. Does it look a little better than it did last week to you guys? It looks better here, Annie. Anyways, I'm not that tech savvy, but I looked around this afternoon. I found the settings and I increased some pixels and pixels and I don't know whatever else was in there. I kept messing with it. It seems to be the best. Sooner or later, we're going to get my GoPro hooked up. We're going to be doing this off of a GoPro, which is a really nice, clear picture. But,
James said he's going to M22 in Michigan, and it's September 21st to the 25th. So, but we just can't because of work. I mean, January's his time off, so that's why we really can't do any other ones, and that's why we're so excited about courtside because January is the month he gets off. That's his 1 month off.
I work at a golf course, and so my job is to keep all of the equipment, which is a lot of equipment. My job is to keep all that equipment running basically daily. And so if I took any major time off during the golf season, it wouldn't go too well with the people that I work for because that's what they pay me for, is to be there to keep the machines running. Then they're nice enough though, as I getting the RV and stuff, they're going to give me some 3-day weekends here and there so I can take some time. I've been working for these people for 40
plus years.
2 years. So, they're giving me a little back, I guess, at the end. This year I actually get 6 weeks vacation. I used to get.
You always got 4.
In the beginning I got 2, then I ended up with 4. And I stuck with 4 for a long time. Now I get 6 weeks, so we're going to be able to go to courtside for 6 weeks. Sweepy wants to say hi, guys.
And Carol, yes, you're right. Thank you so much. And yes, you are right. It's because you subscribed. You and all these other wonderful people subscribed and got us to 200. Now we got to get to 300 so we can look forward to the next clam boil. And then we want to get to the 1,000. So.
Hi, Sweepy.
And Carol. How are your knees doing? Are they doing any better? Have you tried the vitamin concoction? And did you try it, Sue? I'm hoping, spread the good news and see if it works for everyone. Hopefully you guys tried it and hopefully it is helping to make a difference. And that kind of thing takes a little while. Well, actually, mine didn't take a little while. Within a week, I was better. So, but I had already been taking some of the vitamins before I started taking the glucosamine, MSM, and the collagen. Those two, I'd already been taking some of them, and I was still in pain from January to July. When I added those two, that's what really made the difference. So I'm hoping that they do help other people because, yeah, I definitely want to help.
It's definitely helped her a lot because we've gone to like some museum since and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
and it's hard for her to walk. Like, it's not so hard for her to walk on, like, for some reason,
grass,
I guess, like grassy areas,
soft areas, yeah.
or soil because it's got a little bit. But when she walks on hard floors, we've gone for a couple of trips since, and she keeps right up. She's not limping. It's great. It's
I can even walk up the stairs
I was
normally.
scared. I thought I was gonna like be walking like on our quartzite trip, all these little trails. I thought I'd be walking by myself, you know.
And I was walking one step at a time. You know, I've been going up at one step at a time since January, but I can actually now walk upstairs normally. But I'm almost wanting to do it one at a time because I'm afraid it's like, oh, you can do it normally. So I've been doing it for so long now, so many months that one step at a time. But now I can do it. So yeah, they've gotten that good. James says his biggest trip is in Florida in March on a cruise. Oh, you're going on a cruise March 12th.
Oh,
I
good
hope you
for
have
you.
fun.
Yeah.
And thank you, Sue.
Uh-oh. Sandy said, yum, a clam boil. If that doesn't come with you, I will be coming that way somewhere in the first 2 weeks of October. Okay, we'll see. We might get to 300 by October. That would be nice. 200 though. 200 subscribers.
I don't know. Oops. I don't know if we
Very,
can wait
very
till October for it, Sandy, but maybe by October we'll get to 300 by October. So Ron just spilled his water.
I'll be right back, folks.
He's an accident waiting to happen one way or the other, whether it's elbow grease or spilled water. Yeah, try those, Sue. I'm honest to God, they have made the big difference for me. I mean, literally, I was, in pain for like from January because I hurt my knee in January and up till July, and that's when he finally said, "You have to go to the doctors. You can't just keep letting, you can't just keep going. You got to go to the doctors." Just put it there, honey. We'll dry it later.
Yeah, no.
And he made me go.
Well, I didn't make her go. I just
you
thought
did. You told me I had to do it.
Well,
and you called Melanie.
And I'm glad.
Be honest.
And I'm glad that we did because me and my daughter we made her go, but we at least found out what she was dealing with and how to deal with it, and therefore you feel better, yes.
Oh, I definitely.
Yeah, so it was worth going because we didn't know it was us.
Because I thought it was an injury, right? And I thought it would heal.
It was an injury, but it was an injury. Well, it was.
It's part of osteoarthritis.
Right. And so we found out what it was, and therefore she was able to get the right herbs. Because otherwise, we would have been guessing,
Oh, thank you.
And I don't make her do anything. I've been married to her for 46 years. I don't make her do anything.
He called Melanie, and without me knowing, and said, "Melanie, make an appointment for your mother." And before I knew it, Melanie works at the doctor's office that we go to. So needless to say, within minutes, I had a doctor's appointment that I was told you're going to, and you're not getting out of it. So I don't want to hear it. So yeah, he made me go.
Well, because she's stubborn, and sometimes that's what you have to do.
And we have 202. Thank you, Peter. Peter just has 2 other websites, and he just brought us up to 202.
Oh, Peter, thank you so much.
See, we have lots of sweet people. Thank you,
God.
guys. Thank you.
Yay, we were over the hump. We've been looking at 200 forever. YouTube, like you gain 5, you lose 2. You gain 3, you lose 1. It's like it's a slow process, I don't know if that happens to everybody or not, and I don't know why they take subscribers away. I don't get it. I mean,
hello, Digging for Health. Thanks so much for joining us, and also the Adventures of Kenny and Debbie. Thank you, guys.
Well, hey, guys.
Us.
How are you?
You guys are new for visiting us. That's awesome.
I just watched one of y'all's videos last night, I think.
All right, I gotta go get Sweet Pea. All right, you gotta get Sweet Pea's in the closet. You didn't close the closet door. You got paper towels out. Didn't close. That's her new thing. So Sweet Pea is becoming a menace as she's gotten older. She was a perfect dog, and now she's becoming a menace. She's getting in trash. She's getting now in the closet. She eats stuff out of the closet. So yes.
And it's my fault.
Dad forgot to close the closet.
And it's my fault that she's become a pain too, because for years we would give her nothing. Okay, but then I love the dog so much, and she's getting old, and so I started to spoil her the last couple of years.
Come here, you little funky.
I would give her if I made a peanut butter sandwich, I would scrape all the peanut butter off except a little bit, and I'd give her the peanut butter.
That has a plastic bag.
If I had ice cream, I'd scrape the bottom of the bowl so there's hardly anything left because I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted to have the flavor of ice cream. Or if I cut cheese for my lunch and there's a little couple crumbs of cheese, I'd give her the cheese. Well, that spoiled her. And ever since then,
She's become a punk.
She's become a punk.
And she don't care anymore. She doesn't get in trouble. So, and she's too old to get in trouble at this point. But she doesn't care. She's gonna get in trouble. She was in the trash when I came in here earlier. She had been in the trash. She pulled everything out of the trash, and she never touched the trash as a puppy ever. We had 2 puppies, and they never touched the trash.
Right.
But now she is a punk. Oh, 202. Look, you had to check to be sure.
I did. I had to check to be
202.
sure. Oh my God. Yay.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, Carol, thank you. She is very cute, but she is punky, and she knows it. She knows she's not going to get in trouble now. And now she's also started peeing and pooping in the house. So, yes, she's going backwards. She's going to be a puppy stage.
She is going backwards.
She started peeing, and because she started peeing, we didn't really yell at her because we figured she's getting old and she probably had to go. So we put pee-pee pads down there, but now she's pooping. So, yeah.
But not regularly. She's just, yeah.
Well, grab your stuff off so she can climb up.
Come on. Come on. Now I think she's getting tired. She's been up all day, which is very unusual for Sweetie, but she slept all day, all night the night before last, all day yesterday,
Come on.
all night last night.
Come on.
Come on, beautiful.
Come on. Dad's got nothing good for you.
Look.
He's got nothing for you. Look, she's wanting something. She's been barking at us like we got nothing for you. It's not your time for anything.
Silly dog.
She, she just wants something. She doesn't know what she wants. That's mine. Here.
Yeah. It's like I had this in my hand now all of the time.
And he used to make fun of me.
I was a guy who used to make fun of her because she would do the same thing, but I always have this in my hand now lately. Ever since you.
He likes being able to look things up. He likes that he can look something up and
I do.
And go, and tell me the history of it. So that's something that he finds fun. So.
And it helps at work too. Like Google, you can ask it anything, and usually a YouTube video for whatever you really want to know. It's crazy.
Like who sang that song? He's on the computer. He's on the phone looking to see who. Oh, that's who sang that song. Kenny and Debbie, our next RV outing is this weekend. We're going to Vermont this weekend. We're going to go visit his sister Sandy. So we're heading to Vermont on Friday. We're leaving. So we'll be back Friday. We'll leave Friday and come back on Monday. So we're looking forward to that one. We've only been to Vermont once before. We've been to Vermont a few times, but going to the races, basically drive up, go to the races, drive back home again.
Right.
So, and this is the races that we used to go to was Thunder Road, which is right up where Sandy lives. It's a beautiful racetrack, but we always just went up 5 hours up, watched the races, 5 hours home. So last week we went up in July. We went up to visit her for a weekend, just in the car. We went up. Oh, that was the weekend I locked. We're all ready to, we were gonna, we had gone out for the day and came back. We were gonna, go in and have something to eat, and then we were gonna leave. And I kind of locked my keys in the car. So Sandy was driving. Whenever we go, Sandy will drive our car so he can just rest.
Yeah, because I don't trust too many people driving, but I trust Sandy, so I'd let her drive. So.
And that way he can enjoy the scenery and stuff. So he sits in the back seat, and so I'm so used to him putting the keys in his pocket. She gave me the keys, duh. I put them in my pocketbook, and I'm like, oh, we're just going to Sandy's house. I don't got to worry about my pocketbook in the car because it's, real rural area. You don't got to really worry. So I left my keys in the car, and she locked the door. I'm like, yep, lock the door. Duh. So we had to wait. We ended up running 2 hours later before we leaving because I locked my keys in the car. So, yeah. So one of those things. But anyway, so yeah, we are heading to
Kenny and Debbie wants to know what kind of races. We used to follow short track stock car racing.
Right.
And we did it I went to the races from the time I was 6 years old, I don't know, until 10 years ago, 15 years ago, every single Saturday night at Seekonk Speedway, which is by here. But then I wrote a column in a couple of racing papers. And me and Sue would just go all over the place. I mean, we
travel
all over the place. If there's a speedway around, we've been to it in many different states too. And I would write a column on it and stuff. But we would go by all these places all the time, going to the racetrack and coming back, or going to this racetrack and coming back, and going to that racetrack and coming back, and go by all these places, zoos and museums and parks and all this stuff. We'd never stop. We'd go to the races, watch the races. I'd come home, I'd write a column, and we'd go to work, and we'd do it the next week. Sometimes we'd go Friday night, Saturday night, and sometimes Sunday if it was the peak part of the
You
season.
can tell we were younger then.
And
Now we
were,
don't have
and
the
we,
energy.
and we were, yeah, younger, and gas was cheap, and
Way younger.
um, yeah. So we followed that for a long time, but we kind of gave up on it because,
Well, he started go-kart racing.
yeah, I
So
started
when he
racing myself. So.
started go-kart racing, there wasn't, he was racing on Sundays or Saturdays, and he didn't have the energy to be doing the go-kart racing and writing a column.
You can't write a column and work on a race
Right.
on a go-kart because it was just as much work on a go-kart as there is a race car, believe it or not. They're not like a regular go-kart that you ride around in your yard in. They're actual racing machines. They're just small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until he flipped himself out one time. So he flipped himself out and was a little,
Well, no.
little out of it, kind of. And they said, "Who's the president?" And he's like,
"No, that wasn't what stopped me from racing. What stopped me from racing?
No, that was just made you worry.
That didn't scare me necessarily. But what scared me was we'd always sit there waiting to go out for our qualifying race, and the race in front of us would be racing, and we would watch it. Okay, well, my friend was in the race out there racing. He was out there racing. I was sitting there waiting to race, and he flipped. And when he flipped, when you flip a go-kart, you want to get separated from that go-kart. And we were doing like sometimes 70 miles an hour. So if you flip a go-kart at 70 miles an hour, they always told you to tuck into a ball, always, and keep yourself in a ball, because if you tried to stop your flip, you'd obviously, really hurt yourself. Well, my friend went to flip. He reached down on the asphalt and tried to stop himself, and he took his arm and dislocated his shoulder and wrapped it right around the back of his back. And it wasn't pretty. And he was screaming and crying. I'm sitting there waiting to go out in the next race. I'm telling you, that was the day that I decided that maybe I don't want to be doing this. I have a mortgage. I have a wife, so I raced a few more times after that, but I wasn't the same. I couldn't race the way I used to race because I was a little bit scared. And when you're out there, you can't be scared because you're going to hurt either yourself or somebody else. So I did it a few more times, and I just sold out.
That, and he just started worrying about, well, if something happens to me, what's going to happen to you and Sweet Pea?
What's going to happen to her and Sweet Pea?
And what's going to happen to the house? And he just spent so much time worrying that he'd end up having night sweats about it,
Right.
night sweats about it. And he finally realized, you know what? It's not fun anymore. It's so much work, and it's just not fun. And then at that point, he stopped for a while. And then my son got a race truck, so he went to racing. And Kenny said he actually raced for a while in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
He raced a street stock at a 3/8 mile, usually 3/8 mile, Camaros, which he had a Camaro. We love Camaros. And one Firebird, 327, 350, 4 speeds.
Awesome.
So
absolutely
right up our way. And we always love street stocks because it's back to the real, the way racing should be. Not too fast. Everybody's equal.
All the tracks that we went to, all those years, the street stocks, not the top class, and sometimes not the second class, but the street stocks or the 4-cylinder cars, the ones that would slow down a little bit and they could get 3 wide. I mean, think about it. People cheer for turtles. Okay, it's not necessarily the speed. The speed can be awesome, but once you start going so fast, people can't pass. It becomes boring. But short track racing that's slowed down a little bit is the most exciting thing in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it just, and even today, I'm a wicked race fan, but I can't take carbon monoxide. I just can't. I've been a mechanic all my life. I've been around race cars all my life. And go-kart racing, I swallowed a bunch more. And if I'm even parked at a red light next to an idling diesel truck, I get dizzy. So if I go to the racetrack now, all that carbon monoxide coming off the racetrack makes me dizzy. So I had to basically stop going, mostly because of that, And plus, we're getting too old to sit on them hard benches for 4.5 hours too. I just don't feel like doing that anymore, But it was an expensive sport too. We were spending a fortune, Even racing go-karts, we were spending $500 to $800 a week. It was crazy, nuts, absolutely nuts. If I had all that money back, you got to be kidding me, But whatever.
And Bob used to race in the 70s, but Bob raced dirt tracks, I believe. Yeah. Bob raced dirt tracks. So,
yeah.
And so she has corgis, and the name of the corgi is I love it. Lady Tater of Wales.
Really?
And they call her Tater for short, and she said she's very stubborn and very spoiled too because she's cute and so she gets away with stuff. So you know what
I
Sweepie's
get it.
like.
I get it, you know.
She's
Yeah.
obviously cute. I can't wait to see. Do you have any videos with her on them? I haven't. I've watched only a couple videos so far, so I'll get into some more of your videos. But hopefully they show some of little Lady Tater of Wales. I would love to see her because I do love dogs of all sorts.
I love dogs of all sorts.
And Sue does have some cute dogs too. We only see the one dog. We see the that's the Aussie dog that usually has, right? That's usually on your lap. The other one is Tubaki, I guess, and so she gets to stay away. But the one that usually is on your lap is the Aussie dog, I believe. Correct, Sue? If I'm right. And yeah, the noise does take a little bit of getting used to at the races. But I mean, the first time I went to the races, I was like, ooh. I mean, I was like 16 years old. Well, actually, I was 15 the first time I went to the races, and I was like, "This, you do this every Saturday night, really?" And then he just said to me, "Pick a car," and I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Pick a car," and I picked this brown number 24, and that was my favorite guy. And he said, "Watch that guy," and I started watching that guy, and ended up being, I was a fan of his for 30 plus years. So he went from the street stocks to was pro stocks in our day. But yeah, so when I started watching, and once you start, watching, you don't even notice the sound anymore. You kind of just, you get into it. And
personally, I love the sound.
He loves the sound.
I was raised, my father ran cars when I was a kid. So
yeah,
I was always in a stock car garage when I grew up. And the most exciting part of the whole season for me, because my father would build his own motors, the most exciting part of the whole season for me was just before the first practice, when that motor would crank up in the garage and we full, and it would just make your ears just tickle. This is why I'm deaf. Okay, but anyway, I love the sound of a race car motor. I just can't help it. It makes my blood just boil. It's in my blood. There's no doubt about it. Matter of fact, we were going to go to the races this coming weekend up in Vermont to Bay Ridge Speedway. It's a quarter-mile high bank clay track. But it's supposed to be 40 degrees, so I don't think we're going to go sit outside in 40. 40. It's way too cold to sit outside of the races at 40. Sweepy doesn't want to come up. She wants to come up, but she wants to come up.
She's looking for something. She
doesn't know what she's looking for. Now, so it's 6:30, so she's supposed to get her snacks and get nurtured. So
Kenny, I did see that 69 that you were working on. I did comment on that one video because he had a 60. Yours is 67. Sorry, he had a 69. Kenny said he wishes he had all of the Camaros that he took torches to cut up.
Right.
But honestly, he did have a 69 when we were dating. But some girl was he was kind of showing off. He was delivering pots for his dad, and he's kind of showing off and was doing a whole kind of pulling out. What do you call it? Doing a tire burnout, whatever you call it.
A burnout.
A burnout, and was taken off down the road. And in the meantime, some young girl which wasn't really your fault because he stopped at a stop sign.
It was my fault.
But the girl didn't stop at the stop sign, and she went right through and hit him and crashed all the work he had just put into the beautiful candy apple red Camaro. So he redid the car, and it ended up being black. I don't know why you never left it red. Red was much nicer. But it just kind of, he lost interest at that point.
Do you have any idea how many 57 Chevys got cut up in the 60s and early 70s to make race cars? Think about that for a minute, right? They had all in 57 Chevys. We could put a rocket up next to the guy that's running Amazon. I swear, it's like it's crazy.
Sue says that Lacey is the one that's always on her lap. Lacey's always on her lap, and she is the mini Aussie. So I got that one right. And her Sheltie, which I love Shelties. They're like little lassie dogs. Yeah. She's always the one that is kind of out of the way because she tends to bark. But she said she turns her face away from the camera. Sweepy does that a lot to me too.
Sweepy will do it too. You try to get her to pose and she won't. But every once in a while she wants to be on it, and she'll do it.
Oh, Carol loves tractor pulls.
Yeah,
that's one thing that's really you'd love.
I like tractor
we have the
pulls,
Westport Fair around here, and that's really big around here for the tractor pulls.
I like those motors. Those motors are, dad motors. Seriously. Anyways, honey, I think we've done our hour. We have to leave. I have to take Sweepy out. I have to nurture Sweepy. I want to thank all of you.
Thank you, guys.
All of you. I want to thank all of our subscribers.
Yes.
We just hit 200.
202. Don't forget our 2 for thank you, Peter.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Very much.
Thank you, all of you. Carol, Sue, every single one of you. Lucky Dog, thank you so much for always coming and modding for us. I mean, that is more special than
It's
you can
sweet.
imagine. It
That's-
really
that's
is. We
what it
cannot
is. It's
thank
sweet.
you enough for just being so kind to take your hour to come spend with us and take care of us and guide us. It really is special. And we thank everyone. We thank Sandy for stopping by and Di's the first time she stopped by. And we thank everybody. We really
Yes.
do. We are so thankful for all of
Amazing.
you. We
Amazing.
can't thank you enough. And thank you for saying it's a fun chat. Hopefully, oh, Roy and Becky, I forgot you guys are here too. We thank you all, and we hope you all have a wonderful week coming ahead. And thanks so
And-
much, and I hope you come join us next
Yep,
week
and
because it
we
was
got
fun.
We got a video coming up Wednesday, a video coming up Friday, and we have Wi-Fi, and we'll have a live from Vermont next Sunday night at 5:30.
And life is slowing down, so I'll get back to getting into everybody's videos
Yeah.
because
Me too.
summer's been really crazy, and
Yes.
it's hard to keep up with work and try to get everything done. So I'm going to get back into making sure I get watching
Yeah,
everyone's
we have
videos
been
because I
watching
really enjoy watching the videos and
I love
supporting
watching
you
videos.
guys as much as you support us.
Yes.
So, and don't forget to hit the like button. I know that's something I'm supposed to say because I always forget to say that. Don't forget to hit the like button. I don't know why. I guess that's everybody. You guys probably know more than I do, but we probably get points of some sort for the
Yeah,
like
who
button.
knows?
So, but thank
Who
you
knows?
guys,
Thank
and
you so
all
much.
have a wonderful night. Thanks so
We'll
much.
see you all later.
Bye. Same bat
Bye.
time, same bat channel. Bye.
Bye.